Welcome to the spine-tingling world of Goosebumps, from haunted masks to ghoulish ghosts. We're delving deep into each episode. We'll uncover hidden secrets, discuss fascinating trivia, and maybe even confront a few of our own fears along the way. So grab your favorite snack, hit the lights, and let's get these goosebumps rising. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more thrilling explorations. This is your channel name, where every story is an adventure. The Goosebumps 2023 Season 1 finale might not have killed off the parents of the main characters as the villain threatened, but the ending was still surprisingly dark. Goosebumps 2023 has been a darker reinvention of author R.L. Stine's iconic novel series throughout its 10-episode run. The show told the story of a group of teenagers who were plagued by cursed items and a possessed teacher, only to eventually discover that the ghost of Harold Biddle, a teenager whom their parents knew, was behind everything. Candu was originally a soldier who was shot on the battlefield. As he bled out, he hid in an underground tomb with walls that were covered in inscriptions. Reading one of these cured Candu's seemingly lethal bullet wound, and he soon started to use this dark magic to his advantage. Whereas Goosebumps 2023's original villain Harold Biddle just wanted to be popular in high school, Candu had loftier evil plans. When Candu met a carnival proprietor, Mahar, he offered him an opportunity he couldn't refuse. The struggling carnival owner made beautiful puppets, but his business was failing. Candu could perform real dark magic and was willing to help Mahar's business once the character assisted his nefarious plans in return. While Mahar initially agreed to these terms, like both Brat and Ephraim, he eventually reneged on the deal. Mahar then transformed Candu into Slappy the Dummy so that the villain wouldn't be able to hurt anyone else, even though Mahar lost his life in their ensuing scuffle. He saw war as a disease that ravaged humanity and argued that people could only be cured of this illness if they were given something much worse than each other to fear. He camera is just another innocuous artifact that is similar to a lost treasure until Isaiah discovers it at the Biddle house. He finds out, though, that it's more than that the following day at school. Nathan Brat gives him his backpack, which contains the camera and the pictures Isaiah took at the party. The pictures, however, are not the ones he took when Allison's photo shows her lying terrified in the wilderness, and Margot's picture shows her choking next to the vending machine. He recognizes that they might be predicting the future. The latter situation happens soon, when Margot accidentally eats a chocolate bar with nuts in it, and Isaiah has to save her by administering the dose from her EP pen that is enough for him to understand that the camera tells, or perhaps creates, a bleak future for the subjects of its photographs. Whenever Isaiah tries to show someone the photos, they go blank all of a sudden, and that is why nobody believes him. One of the photographs from the camera shows Isaiah with an injury during his game the next day, and Isaiah decides that if he destroys the camera, it won't be able to work against him with that deed behind him. He goes on to play the match the next day, and it is going well until Isaiah sees the camera in his locker room, making him anxious and thereby losing his focus in the game as expected. He hallucinates on the field, leading to his accident and an injury that would take him months to recover from. Some of the other parents, namely Nora Lucas's mom, also see Harold Biddle on the field. But when she tries to tell Ben and the others about it, they decide to ignore her, but Nora doesn't give up, and she gives Margot a photograph of Harold to give to Isaiah and check whether that is the boy he had seen on the field. Isaiah recognizes him, and that is the clue for the rest of their investigation, since the camera is lost and they cannot find it anywhere. It could be wreaking havoc, or it has finished its job and is back to where it initially was. Why does Isabella become a troll? Sincerity be told, every adolescent experiences their own unique mix of insecurities and difficulties, which are all a normal part of maturing. Isabella struggles with feeling unimportant. She becomes irritated and acts like a troll online, attacking individuals who, in her opinion, ignore her. Isabella accidentally entered the basement at the party, where she discovered a mask that she felt compelled to carry home as she does. So Isabella discovers that the mask is taking control. She becomes quite rude to Lucas for breaking her drone and to her guidance counselor at school. Isabella wears the mask and turns into an actual troll that attacks Lucas, who is saved by Margot and Isaiah. Isabella is only able to fight off the mask when she's about to harm her little brother, and her inner self stops her from doing so. She and her brother throw the mask into the pool, but unknown to them, it is fished out by a possessed Nathan Brat. Are all of James' clones dead? James struck his head on the clock the night of the party, and ever since he's been caught in a time loop that prevents him from leaving the gathering, he ultimately learns how to take advantage of that and approaches his crush. He escapes the loop by stopping the clock, but doing so makes his life much more difficult. Since each time he tries to escape, he makes a clone of himself, and at the moment there are many clones who all want to take over his life, while the clones live his life. James is restrained and held captive somewhere. They break up with his boyfriend and pick a fight with his friends. But luckily, Isabella shows Margot and Isaiah that this is the fake James, and they now have to find the real one. The three kids follow one of the fake James to an abandoned place, and after a long and gooey F, they are able to take down the clones and get James free. We are not sure whether all the clones are dead, but one of them takes a suitcase to Nathan, who is enraged at finding it empty. He expected to find the remains of someone in it, but now that it is not there, he is back to targeting the Lucas. Kids, why does Lucas try to risk his life? Lucas's father died while trying to do a dangerous stunt. And since then, the boy has made it his mission to complete what his father couldn't. That is why he keeps getting into trouble at school with dangerous antics, because he sees them as training for what he needs to do. Nathan Bratt targets him through the worms that Lucas picked up at the Biddle house during the party. Lucas eats a worm just for the sake of it, not knowing that this is going to jeopardize his entire life. That night, the worms take over him, and the next day he rides his motorcycle off the roof in a dangerous display. Margot understands that Lucas is being controlled by the worms since the group of friends has understood that every problem so far has its origin in something from the Beidel basement. Only Nora can help solve this problem, and as Lucas is ready to drive off the cliff, Nora tells him the truth. His father did not die due to a failed stunt. He knew he was not going to be able to complete it, and he had taken it up as a suicide mission as soon as Lucas learns about it. He vomits all the worms since he no longer needs their support to carry out a mindless task. But the worms don't want to let go of him, and that ends up in a long chase which results in the worm monster getting destroyed by a wood chipper. But it also ends with Nora in a psychiatric facility, since she doesn't make an excuse and starts talking about ghosts and monsters. Is Margot back from the scrapbook? The children have deduced that their parents are likely aware of the circumstances behind all that is occurring. They turn to Sarah, Margot's mother, as a last result, but none of them are prepared to respond. Colin has been having an affair with Nora. While Sarah has been estranged from her family, Isaiah has split up with Allison and discovered his emotions for Margot. But she has already gone forward with Lucas as a result. It is unpleasant for the parents and the children as well, because Nora is now residing in a mental health facility. When Sarah comes to know that Nora and Colin are together, she immediately meets Nora in the facility and advises her not to take the medicines being given to her. We are unsure about Sarah's motivations, especially since Margot has not said anything favorable about her so far. And the timing of Sarah's advice is also very off. But Nora listens to her. And we think that she is going to be in a lot more trouble than before, concerning the children. Nathan steps in once more. He hands Margot a scrapbook and claims to have found it in his basement. It has a picture of Sarah. When Margot reads the book, she is taken to the location where the events described in the book took place. She discovers that Sarah and Harold were acquaintances, and perhaps close friends. She wants to look through the scrapbook. More so, she calls over her pals. She discovers in the auditorium that Sarah had disregarded Harold's warnings that he was in danger at that point. It departs from memory since in the original Harold addresses Margot directly and dragged her to his home. The friends figure out what is happening from the pages of the book and to rescue Margot. They take her to the Beidel house and enter the scrapbook themselves. Harold is guiding Margot, and she notices what we did at the start of Goosebumps. When he descends to his basement, he is frightened by something which ultimately leads to the house catching on fire. Margot is rescued from the house by her friends just in time, and they see a younger version of their parents leaving the house with a bag and deciding to let Harold burn inside as the children struggle with the realization that their parents might be killers. In Gump's conclusion, Nathan Bratt appears and invites them inside to reveal the true events of that day. They are all still in the scrapbook, and they are going to find the truth that inescapably leads us to believe that Harold Bid cannot be the victim. Solely, we must wait to find out how he is the villain, but he must be it in some way. The Goosebumps 2023 Season 1 finale sees all the show's heroes fulfill their destinies for better or worse. Bratt's inability to see past his own needs almost doomed the town, whereas the group of teens working together saved nearly everyone. Lucas's Will Price. Willingness to accept an unrealistic fantasy, as reality proves that he is too immature to move on to college and out of town, while Margot's decision to read the incarnation proves that she really does love Isaiah after all. Although the Goosebumps 2023 Season 1 finale ended on a cliffhanger, the series showed the true colors of its heroes with this episode, while leaving plenty of storylines to continue in a potential Goosebumps Season 2. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the shadows and secrets of Goosebumps, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more chilling content. Your support means we can keep exploring more of these eerie adventures together. Remember, the world of Goosebumps is vast and full of surprises. So stay tuned for more videos where we uncover the hidden gems and dark corners of this series. Thanks for watching, and as always, keep an eye out for those unexpected bumps in the night. Until next time, stay spooky, my friends.